Morning everybody. I'm Dr. Nirvana from VIT University Chennai. Today we'll be doing a short introduction to Latex. This is the agenda of today's class. First we will do an introduction. We will look into the differences between WISI, WIG editors and Latex. What is the software? What are the softwares that are required for creating a document? Then we'll look into the document structure and the various formatting instructions that are available, useful packages, bibliography management, and some pointers on the web. So this is the agenda of today's class. Well, my first topic is introduction. Well, what is TeX? TeX is a low-level markup and programming language created to typeset documents attractively and consistently. So basically it is a markup language similar to XML, and also it is a programming language, so you can actually create or typeset the documents using commands. Latex is a package based on TeX. Its purpose is to simplify TeX typesetting, so it is like a simplified version of TeX. Today it is widely used for publications. Maybe in India it has not found its place, but as academicians you would be knowing that a lot of journals and publishers use or provide Latex template, and you would appreciate that it's quite easy to use Latex, because you will see that you can easily change from one format to another format without much manual work. The amount of work that you need to put, or the efforts that you have to use for converting document in one format to another format is quite less. So that makes Latex very attractive, because we would be usually submitting papers to a particular journal, and maybe we would also like it to submit to some other conference or something like that. They may have different formats, so you have to reproduce one document that is in one particular format, for example IEEE, into some other format, say Springer. So you have to understand that if you are using some other word processing document, then you may find it difficult to change the entire document in a short duration of time. So that's what I would like to say. Well, what is the difference between editors like Notepad, WordPad, or Word itself? Microsoft or open source version of Word software. But the thing is, Microsoft Word or OpenOffice are editors that we call it as what you see is what you get editors. So suppose you are typing a document and making a particular portion of the text bold, and then it is immediately reflected. That means you would be able to make changes, and you can also see the result of the changes that you have made directly. Okay. With respect to LaTeX, you have to actually program, you have to write commands for making changes, and then this file needs to be compiled like any other programming language to see its output. So basically, it is a little bit time consuming. If you are expert of Word, you would find this particular feature to be very much disturbing you. However, once you are used to LaTeX, you would appreciate the benefits that you get out of LaTeX. Okay? Well, so we have to understand that the end results, the final results of your document, that is the look and feel, are not available immediately once you make the changes, and each time you make a change you have to compile, and then you have to use some viewer to view the output of the compilation. So that's why we said like LaTeX is a programming language too. Well, the documents are written in a self-chosen text editor. That means you can use any text editor like Notepad or anything, and you have to save in a file with .tex extension. Okay, and then we compile the .tex file using LaTeX, which converts the file into a .pdf, that is a portable document format, and then you use appropriate reader or some other viewer which will help you to view the PDF files. Okay, so that's how we do it. So this is the basic difference between currently widely adopted Microsoft Word or open source version of OpenOffice and LaTeX. Well, having seen the difference, now we are actually to the advantages. The advantage is the layout, the font, the tables, etc. are consistent throughout. What do you mean by consistent throughout? So if you fix the font is fixed throughout the document. Tables and other the layout also are consistent throughout the document. That's a very important thing. Those who have experience, suppose sometimes I have this experience, like I use Word or something, and when I copy paste some text, then it is totally different. Right? So it depends. Sometimes, not always. But here, when you copy paste or whatever you do it, the font doesn't change. Okay. But that typesetting mathematical formula is quite important, because if you are doing your PhD, probably you will be writing your thesis wherein you will have some formulae that you would like to typeset. Well, Word also provides an easy way of typesetting formulas, but you will see that LaTeX is very user-friendly. You have lots of ways in which you can easily represent or typeset your mathematical formula. Preparing indexes, footnotes and references are very easy. For example, we know that different publishers adopt different kinds of referencing formats. So LaTeX provides you a means to define the list of reference. We will see that later. And then it will allow you to refer those references in the text, and then compile and see, you see that even if it is quite easy, even if you change the format, you get it in minutes. Okay, so I will show you a demo in this part of the class, and then you could appreciate what I said. Okay, but software, what is vector? So I am not providing you a complete list, but well, you need a text editor, so you need a Latex binary, then an output view for PDF files. Well, I am giving an example, and as I said earlier, this is not a complete list. In Windows, you could use Notepad or Technique Center for as a text editor. You have Mikitex, which contains whatever the binaries that you require, and finally you have Acrobat Reader to view the output. And then you have Linux environment, you have GVim, TechMaker, TechLive, so you have different things. And even Mac also you have a set of tools. Okay, so if you have any specific questions on what software is best and all, it depends on the individual's experience using the system. But well, I have a preference, but there is nothing technical about it. It's more about how good, how well are you used to a particular set of software. That's it. Well, now having seen the introduction, we will move on to the next part. How does Latex document look like? What is the structure? You see this. So I have given you a template of Latex text document. Well, as I said earlier, we actually store the content in a .tex file. So this is how it looks like. Okay. So you have preamble that contains the packages that you are going to use in the document. Okay, and then you have some information about the title of the document, author, etc. We call this top matter, and then the document text is actually enclosed within begin document and end document. Okay, well, the document class, the first class, says that we have different types. We will see that shortly. This report, we are going to use 11 point, and we are actually preparing page size is A4 paper. We are just going to have the content on one side, so the other side will be blank. Okay, well, now we will see what is this document classes, what are all the options that are available. Well, the document class command actually defines the page layout, how your page would look like. Okay, so you have the syntax / document class, then you have options, and which class are you going to. So some of the classes that are well known are article, report, letter, beamer, and book. So article, you all know that it is a part of either a journal or a book. Report, these are normally technical reports that you prepare. It's a part of your research. And then you have letter, usually we used to use recommendation letters and other types of letters to students, so this would be useful. And book. Book, you know that it is used to prepare text or any other. Beamer is a class that is used to prepare a PowerPoint slide. Tech. Today we will be looking at the article, report and book. Letter and beamer we will see on some other day. Okay. So now we have an example, backslash document class, 11 point, A4 paper, one side, report. So you are instructing or you are telling the Latex compiler that you are actually preparing a report which has font size 11 point and the size of the paper is A4 paper. You would like to have the content on one side, so that's about it. Okay, if you ask me what other options I have, you have different paper sizes, different font sizes, and then you have one side, and then you can also have two sides. Okay, it depends, and then you have one column, and then you have two columns. So, for example, if you are preparing an article for IEEE, probably you will have two columns. So you have choices. All these choices are used by different publishers. Okay. And if you are coming up with your own report format, probably you can define your own class for it. Well, now we have an example. So you have the front matter, so which contains title, author and date. Okay, good. Slash title, I have a Latex document, and author, the name of the author and his affiliation and the date. Okay. You can specify a particular date, or you can use slash today, which would print the current date. So once you are done with the front matter, and then you have slash mac title, which will produce so the screen which contains the title, the author name, his affiliation and the date. Okay, so this is a simple example. Well, at this stage you may have a lot of questions in your mind, I know that. For example, well, there are two authors. It's a good question. How you represent two authors? And then you have authors with multiple affiliation. So myself and my friend are working on some project. We together are preparing one document. Well, okay, so I am affiliated to one university and he is affiliated to another university. See how do we interpret that. And even one author would be associated with multiple affiliations. So those things are there. Those things are a little bit advanced. And then such things you can ask me later, and I would be glad to answer such questions. Okay, well, so we saw the front matter, and what is there actually, what I should do within the begin document and end document. Well, so I have part, a book normally consists of multiple parts, but even a report would contain multiple parts. Okay. Each part could have multiple chapters, and a chapter can have multiple sections. Each section can have a subsection, and a subsection can have a sub. A subsection could have a paragraph, and a paragraph could have subparagraph. So this is the hierarchical representation of the various parts of book or a report. Please understand that chapter is available only for book, that you have to use it for your book and reports. Because an article is just a single chapter by itself, so we can't have further chapters. Okay, so that you have to remember. So I am showing a sample of content. How do I generate? So it is your responsibility to define chapters, parts, and sections, subsections, etc. And then use the command /table contents to generate the actual table of contents. And you should understand that to generate a table of content, you have to compile twice. So that's it. When you first time when you create, it will create a references, and second time you will actually create a table of contents. Then you can have list of figures, list of tables, and all. Okay. Paragraph spacing and indenting is quite important. Okay. So as I told you earlier, the actual document text is placed between /begin document and /end document. Okay, I would like to make a line break. How do I do that? Use 2 backslashes. How do we separate paragraphs? Use 2 break spaces. 2 times enter. Well, I would like to have some comments document text, which would be useful for me to understand. Well, then you start your comment with percentage symbol. Okay, then you can have indents and vertical spaces. So well, for all those things we have to modify the preamble. Okay, so suppose if you have a page which contains a title and then some space, and then the author name, and then some space, and then the date. So normally you may have to submit some reports in this format. So you can actually make use of slight modifications in the preamble, and then you can get the desired thing. Well, we know that we have different types of text style and also size. First we will see the different text styles. Emphasis. When you want to emphasize something, then enclose those part of the text with the \emph. Okay, and then you may like to make some portion of the text bold, and then the font, which is very similar to typewriter, small caps. So we have appropriate command shown on the screen. For example, to make text bold, you have text BF, and to enclose the content that need to be bold in curly bracket. Okay. So if you want to have the text in small capital, okay, small caps. So use text SC, so that would and enclose the text within curly brackets, and then Well, next we have italics. So that also is typeset. Okay. Underline. So you can do a lot of things. Whatever you can do in any other word processing software, you can also do in Latex. Well, coming back to the size of the file, so you have predefined formats for font. So the default is a normal size, and then small, then we have large, still large, and finally very large. Then we have footnote size, script size, and tiny fonts. So on the screen you could see the different possible formatting commands for size and the corresponding output. Okay. So we saw that initially we saw that it's easy to have footnotes. So how do I have my footnote? So footnotes can be added to the text via backslash footnote and enclose the footnote within curly bracket. You use this command to insert a footnote. So I have blah 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 backslash footnote and footnote text blah 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 footnote and second footnote as text. So you see the output. Okay. Well, and footnotes are the you can use it A, B to distinguish from one footnote to another. You can number them. 1, 2, Roman letter 1, 2, or some other symbols like plus, asterisks, like that. So you can actually do whatever you want. You can change it. The commands are available for that. Okay. Mathematics. Okay. So I'm working on theoretical computer science. I have a lot of mathematical information. And how do I have formulas in my document? That's a good question. You have two ways. Okay. One is you can have the mathematical formulae as a part of the text. It's inline to the text. Or you can have them as a separate paragraph. Okay? So you have two ways of doing it. The first one, you have to enclose the math text within dollars, or you can have it you want to have it as a separate thing, then either you can use a begin equation and end equation. For that you have to use a particular math package. Otherwise you can also use a backslash square bracket, begin square bracket, and the math text, then backslash close square bracket. This will make the equation to appear centered and separated from the text. So an example math typesetting we have shown on the screen. So this example defines $A hyphen $1. So that will be, so whatever things that is enclosed within the dollar will be printed as inline text. So A hyphen 1 will become A1 as the ratio, and then you have dollar backslash fraction 2 as C dot B. So that means 2 dot B and fraction will make as some output. So to print it. Okay. So then we can use backslash open square bracket and backslash close square bracket to have equation which is separate from the text. Okay. I also use some. So we can also create lot of these. Like we can have matrices, we can have different types of equations. Everything is possible, and you redirected to look into this wiki page, wiki book, Latex mathematics. So that will tell you how to typeset different types of mathematical equations. So you have to understand that this session is intended to give a very brief overview of Latex. So each device creating mathematical symbols in Latex we can discuss for more than an hour, but I have very limited time, so I have to stick to the main point introducing Latex. Okay, well, if you are interested, and then you can actually refer to the link provided on the slide. And you have very specific questions with respect to your work, feel free to contact me on phone or email, or you can even directly come to me, and I am very glad to help you. Okay, so you have to understand that. Well, we will continue further. Then you have floats. So what is a float? It is an object which needs to be positioned on the page in a particular bit. Okay, and then we have figures and tables as floats. Okay, so how does it? How do you do that? So you have something called backslash begin figure, or even it could be a table, then the content, and finally backslash n figure or table. Well, what is the advantage that Latex provides to me? So you can Latex would do automatic numbering, okay, and then you can also create labels to these floats so that it can be referenced in the text. For example, you can give some label to a table like this is comparison table. So then you can later refer in your text as in table some number, in table and then the caption of the table. Okay, you can create reference and you can refer, and automatically Latex will generate references. I would show you a little later. And then you can also have a caption to your post, or figures and tables. Well, now we are see example table. As usual, as I said earlier, you have begin table and then end table. Okay, so you have another environment called tabular. So backslash begin tabular, and then you have LC within curly bracket shown in the slide. So what does that mean? That says that you have two things, L and C. So if they correspond to each column, since there are two, let us probably table contains two columns, and the first column is left justified and the second column is centered. So that's the meaning of this one. And next thing is what do you have in the heading? So you have a line, so that's what we create using the backslash hline command. And then we have egg coconut tomato to so each item or each column is separated by the symbol underscore. Well, don't panic about krona. Krona is a currency that is used in Scandinavia, like Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. So in Denmark we call it Danish krona, and Sweden we call it Swedish krona, so something like that. So the cost is given in terms of kronas. So that's what we are doing it. Well, you can actually remove it and you can have your local currency, short form of your local currency. Okay. So, but and then you have caption. So what is this table? It's all about. Even if you read the table caption, you should be able to get or understand what this table is about. Well, I have the caption products for sale. So what are all the products that are available for sale? So in this example, you have eggs and tomatoes, and what is the price? So, well, and then you have a label. So to create a label to this paragraph using backslash label. So it is a normal convention to have some kind of keys that uniquely identify each and every label. Okay. So well, product list, we use the keyword product list. Along tagging it is having tab colon product list. So why we have tab? It represents table. So it is a normal convention to distinguish different types of tab. So you can have something like tab, that means table. Then you can have fig, which means figure. It's not necessary that it has to be in this particular format, except that the label should be unique. So no two labels can be the same. That's the only condition. Okay. So and finally backslash anything. So this is what we do. Suppose you are having figures. So how do you do that? So usually we have JPEG, PNG format, and PDF format. So these are all different types of formats that are supported in Latex. PDF, we know that, and then we have JPEG and PNG. JPEG, if you are having high resolution screen, the output will be a little bit distorted. So better you use PNG format, or best thing is to use PDF format. Okay. Well, and then how does we have a snippet, code snippet that appears on the screen that tells you like